Hi, my name is Sean Kouplen, and I'm Chairman and CEO of Regent Bank, and this is our second video in a series on COVID-19 responses. And what we want to talk about today is the new Paycheck Relief Program that is part of the $2 trillion federal stimulus program from the federal government. On our website, you'll see, if you go to regent.bank, you will see a COVID-19 resources box right there on the front. If you'll click on it, you will get a summary of this overall program. But for our purposes today, I just want to focus on the $350 billion that are in the Paycheck Relief Program. The program's almost final. It's not final. It's passed the Senate and the House, and as we speak, it's actually headed to the President's desk. And they are going to have to come up with the rules and the details of how this will all be rolled out. But this is what we are believing, the way that we think that it will work. In essence, the federal government is going to pay your payroll and certain other expenses for 8 weeks to attempt to get us through this COVID-19 crisis. The loan program will be available until June the 30th, 2020, but it can be extended if necessary. It has funding at $349 billion, and the loans will have a 100% SBA guarantee and will be unsecured with no personal guarantees required at all. There will be no guarantee fees or ongoing service fees for these loans. The use of the proceeds can really be about anything that SBA typically allows, so pretty much any ongoing operations, but only certain uses will allow the loan to be forgiven, which I will cover here in just a moment. Maximum loan amount, the loan amount will be the lesser of 2.5 times your average monthly payroll for the preceding 12 months or $10 million. So if you're a really big business, it's for businesses up to 500 employees. So if you're at that top end, you can only borrow $10 million. If you have less than 12 months of payroll history, the average payroll month will be calculated by taking January and February of 2020. If you're a seasonal business, it will be calculated by taking the March 1 to June 30 payroll averages. The maximum maturity for the unforgiven part of the loan is 10 years. So the way that this works is if you use this loan for certain uses, including payroll, your mortgage, rent, certain operating expenses, then at the end of 8 weeks, this entire balance is going to be forgiven. If you go back and prove that you used the money to make payroll and certain key expenses, you don't have to pay it back. If you use it for other purposes other than this, you will actually have to pay it back, and that will be paid back at variable rates, prime plus 2.25 or less over a 60-month term. The forgiveness portion of this, which is very interesting, is all loan proceeds used to cover payroll, rent, mortgage interest payments, and utilities during the 8 weeks after the loan funds will be forgiven. This amount will be reduced by any employee reductions that you make during the period. So if you let any of your people go, that portion will not be forgiven. Payroll tax filings and other verifiable methods will be used to determine that payroll was paid during this period. The forgiven amount plus interest will be paid to the lender by the SBA. So even though there will be an interest cost on it, you don't have to pay that. The SBA will actually pay the lender. It's really free to you. Canceled indebtedness will not be included in your income tax. You don't have to worry about paying tax on this. The borrowers who qualifies for this are pretty much all types of for-profit and nonprofit businesses, including nonprofits, veterans organizations, sole proprietorships, people who are self-employed, and pretty much all for-profit businesses. Marijuana businesses may not apply for this, and you must have 500 employees or less. You'll need to provide signed copies of your tax returns when you come in. The amount will be based upon how much you pay your employees, paid your employees between January 1 and February 29th. The maximum allowable interest rate is 4%, and again, you only pay that on the unforgiven portion. The forgiven portion is actually paid by SBA. You do not have to provide personal guarantees or use available assets as collateral. If you have recently laid off workers, you'll be required to pay a larger portion of the loan. Loan funds cannot be used to pay salaries over $100,000 per year to qualify as forgivable. And preliminary guidance on this program is expected within a day or two after the bill is signed. So hopefully that will come out pretty quickly. But I hope this gives you a good feel for how the Paycheck Relief Program works. And again, please go to regent.bank and click on COVID resources for more information. Thank you so much.